Your Toronto Blue Jays are officially 5-2 with a sweep of the Washington Nationals. Feels really good to be on the positive side of a sweep for once after getting swept what felt like 1.5 million times last season. It was a good series all around. After coming off of a split against the Royals, it kind of felt like you needed a win in this series, and the Jays showed up for it. Gimenez, cleanup hitter Gimenez, doing what he did best to kind of get everything started off in Game 1. Second inning, hit a solo shot to give them the lead, and they never really looked back. It's almost becoming kind of a funny situation with Gimenez. It doesn't make sense for him to be the 4 hitter. It never will. But he's their best hitter right now. He finished Game 1 2 for 2 with a walk and a homer and 3 runs scored. He's the catalyst of this offense right now. He's almost the reason they're going at the rate they're at. Do I think this lasts all season? Probably not. But as long as he's doing this, he's your 4 hitter. There's no arguing this anymore. It was cool to kind of see this offense compared to what we had last year, where the first 3 runs of this game were scored from a homer and 2 doubles. You don't really get that all the time with this Toronto Blue Jays club. Usually you're scratching and clawing and trying to find a way back into the game. It was nice to be out front and have power drive-in runs. Thank you, David Popkins. Another big story of the night for this game, George Springer had another multi-hit performance. Went 2 for 4 with a double and a single. We'll get to him a little later, but it's unbelievable what he's doing. The biggest story, I think, was Bowden Stieb going at it again. It was always funny last year listening to people say, well, he can't flirt with a no-hitter every game. But here we are, Game 1 of the season, and Bowden Francis takes a no-hitter into the 6th. It makes absolutely no sense. He's throwing things pretty much over the middle of the plate and saying, here, hit me. And no one can hit it. He finishes the night with 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 4 Ks. The stat line really doesn't jump out at you, but when you watch the dominance and the contact that guys are making, it's incredible to see what Bowden Francis is doing right now. Now, he did give up the no-hitter in the most Bowden Francis way possible with an absolute moonshot to C.J. Abrams, but it's all fun and games in the Bowden experience. Game 2 was very much 2024 Blue Jays offense. They came away with a win, but it was a win in which they had no extra base hits for the entire game. Now, it's baseball. It's going to happen. You're going to have games where you don't hit for power, and if you can get away with wins in those games, you're going to do pretty well in the year. It's a game where I feel a little bit better about this team, knowing that when they're not at their best, they're still finding ways to win, and that's exactly what this team did. George Springer with another multi-hit performance. As I said, we'll get to him, but the storyline of the game was probably Bo Bichette's walk-off to win it. Bo Bichette with a smart hitting play just pokes the ball the other way to score 2 runs, to hand the ball over to Jeff Hoffman, and typically when you hand the ball over to Jeff Hoffman, good things happen. One of the cooler stories in this game was the Mason Fluharty debut. As cool as it was to see the kid in the game, you gotta feel a little bit for him coming in with a runner on third, 2 outs in a 1-run game. You're kind of throwing him to the wolves a little bit here. Granted, he was good, but you're asking him to be perfect in a situation where he's never faced anyone here before. Either way, onwards, Game 3, another first. Easton Lucas makes his first MLB start, and he was fantastic. 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, 1 hit, 2 walks. You really can't ask for much more out of a replacement guy that came in because you're down a man. I honestly think he's probably earned himself at least 1 more start, and hell, he may even ride with this for a little bit until Scherzer's back. I think the story of the night, shockingly, would be Miles Straw and Tyler Heineman. Straw and Heineman combined to go 5 for 8 with 2 doubles and a run scored. A night after the team didn't have a single extra base hit, Miles Straw managed to tally 2 himself. When you're talking about the bottom 2 guys in your order, and you're getting this kind of production out of them, things are very clearly going pretty well for the Blue Jays offense. Finally, the man of the week, George Springer, with his first home run of the season. The 3rd Blue Jay to hit a home run this season. Bit of a concern, we'll get there. But George has been on fire. He collected 2 more multi-hit games in this series, bringing up to 9 hits total on the year. For a guy that went 0 for a billion in spring training, this is an incredible start. The one thing I did notice when I was there is it seems like he may have adjusted his swing just a little bit. He's chasing power a little bit more, which, as we know, George Springer, when he's at his best, is hitting for power, and he's not necessarily trying to spray the ball to all fields. If you can get George Springer hitting for doubles and homers more often, your lineup is way deeper. There is one elephant in the room in this series that we haven't really talked about a ton so far, and that's your 2 big boys at 2 and 3. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the $600 million man, hasn't really been Vladimir Guerrero Jr. yet. As of right now, not a concern because the Blue Jays are winning. If they get to a point where they're no longer winning, we're going to need to see Vlad turn it around a little bit. I think it's in there. It's early. I'm not concerned yet, but it's a bit of a concern. Anthony Santander, on the other hand, he's been bad, but he's always bad in April. Over the course of his career, his numbers have ticked up month over month, and he's never really been able to put it together in April, so I'm not too concerned yet. He did manage to put together 2 hits in the last game of the Washington series, so maybe he can capitalize on that and try and go yard here or there in the Mets series. We'll see. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays have the Mets coming up. They're facing some lower caliber starting pitching because the Mets are just depleted worse than pretty much anyone right now. It should be a series that the Blue Jays can come away with a win. Now, hopefully they don't take that offense lightly because they can hit. But with the way that things are going for the Blue Jays right now, I think we're running into the Mets at the right time. So that's it for this one. We will catch you after the Mets series. Leave a comment below who you think was the best player in this series.